Yeah, I'm going to play with some rocks this morning. We'll start by laying in our darks. Our darkest areas and work our way up from there. I'm using ultramarine blue and raw umber at the moment. Might have gone a little on the light side there, we'll see. Nah. It's okay. Okay, this rock gets a little darker because it's at the edge. And the light has thinned off a little bit. Varying each stroke just a little. Alright. Add a little bit of weight to that. And a little more ultramarine blue. Maybe even a hint of cobalt blue here. Let's put a blue streak in. Blue-ish. Be a little bit fussy. Okay. I do not have the steadiest hands this morning. Back to raw umber. Raw umber and white. keep going a little bit lighter here. You know, we've kept that tone down. Now we'll pick up the value here as we sort of bring our colors in like that. Let me just touch that with a hint of yellow ochre, actually, because that will also, of course, warm things up a little bit. Again, my brush is not overloaded. Like a little cleaner line there. Okay. We'll put in a fat stroke. We'll use a little more blue here. Okay. Oh, I gotta load up my palette with some yellow ochre. Maybe we'll just speed things up from here on in. Well, for the moment, they're painted in. Probably still going to receive the odd brush stroke here and there, but I'm going to let the paint dry. I'm not worried about it. It's good where it sits. Now we'll move over to this side and work on those. I just feel like painting rocks today. That's the only reason. Yeah, that can sit as a silhouette. This catches a little more light as we come closer around the corner. And this will be a little bit bluer. All in the shadow. Using a little bit of cobalt blue on these couple of strokes. Okay, back to some raw umber. And there's a cleft in the rock. We'll put that in. Is that too dark? Yeah, I think it is. We're coming around the corner a little bit, so I think I'd like to reintroduce some light again. Picking up a bit of light from back here, just on the tops of these rocks. I don't want to do it on this one, because this I want to remain as a silhouette. Otherwise it'll just blend into that background too much. It won't stand out enough, won't be dramatic enough. Rocks are funny things, you know. They've got different shapes, numerous facets, all catching light in different ways. There are areas that are more worn down than others. There are areas that have some plant growth, you know, some lichen or moss, or you have the different type of rock. You can have a conglomeration of things. So you got to kind of balance everything together with that and bear in mind the numerous possibilities. Okay, I don't think I want that line there. I think I'm just going to blend those. Okay, we're coming around the corner. We'll start to catch a bit of light. Maybe we'll keep the bottom a little bit darker. Okay, we'll pick up some raw umber. And white. Pick up raw umber and white and debris. A little more light on this rock. Trying to vary our stroke shapes and sizes. All right. And the one on the very edge. A little bit bluer. Just a little shot of a little bit more blue. Okay, that's a bit of a crevice there, but I don't want it to be too dark. That's quite blue. You know, it might be okay. Might be okay. Alright, now I'm going to lay a little bit of highlighting on, but that highlighting, although a little higher in value, is going to stay cold. Well, all the colors I'm using right now are pretty cold actually, as you can see. How's that? A little more. Let's be a little bit braver than that. You know, some of these individual brush strokes, they look kind of flat, and I like to give them a little bit the feeling of depth anyway. Maybe even that one a little bit more. Okay, I think that's going to do for those as well. Let me just back the camera up here. Oops, sorry. I never get it right the first time. Okay, so we have our two little areas here, stone and stone. Less important, more important Now we're going to join the two together, or we're going to rather unify the painting. I'm going to have a splash of light across here. If this were a square canvas, I would be tempted to carry more of this light down through this opening. But we have so much content on either side, and it's not square, it's rectangular. It leans towards wanting a bit of a panorama. And if I were to allow too much light to just come through here, I believe it would drop off the bottom of the painting too much. There wouldn't be enough base here to support this guy. That's why I would like to have some lines, some indication of light, shadow, texture, what have you, running right across in front of these rocks to right across in front of these rocks. You know, even coming off the painting here to the left. Just give the bottom some body. And yeah, horizontal lines I think are what I'm looking for at the moment. We'll see how that pans out. So let's lay that line in. I'm going back to my number 6 brush here. Stiffer bristles. The water can manage that, or that'll work okay for this just fine. I'm going to go to yellow ochre. A little bit of ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue. That's too much ultramarine blue. I don't want it to be too light. Okay. I think that's the direction we want to head. Just going to add a hint of raw umber in there. Toning it down just a bit. I'd like to reserve the lighter colors when it comes time to put in the lighter colors. A little more raw umber. Just fading off to the left a little bit here. I'd like the line to be fairly strong, but I don't want the colors to be too high a value. I'm staying slightly below the color above it, as you can see, allowing a bit of the washing to show through. That way, when I have things mostly in place, I have given myself enough room enough wiggle room to make adjustments. Okay, now we're going back to more yellow ochre, a little more white. Not going as light as I possibly can, but going fairly light. One thing I do know is that I can get pretty close to these rocks now. That's a long steady line, but when I put the actual highlights on here, some areas of that line will be even more intense. Right now the line is thin, but I think I'm going to thicken it. You know, I'm going to bring it right to this. Okay, now we can start to tone things down a little bit. Back to adding a little bit more ultramarine blue and a little bit of raw umber. Staying a little bit away from those rocks. I could stand to go a little bit lighter than that, and a little bit warmer than that as well. I don't want it too warm. I don't want it as warm as the line here, because this is really a splash of direct sunlight here, which fades off to the right. Excuse me. Okay, let it just drift off into oblivion there. And it's going to be here as well. Again, not the brightest. And back to more yellow ochre and white, getting stronger again. I'm going to pick up some of this color, put it down here. I think I'll stop it right about there. Okay. I suppose if I'm going to be fussy, it's a little easier to hold this like a pencil than a brush. Okay, toning it down again. Back to our bit of raw umber and ultramarine blue and yellow ochre. How's that? That'll do. That's very white. That's pretty white. I'll just soften that a little bit on the last bit here. I suppose I could have broken this line up more than I did, but it's okay, we'll work with that. Now, it's going to look a bit funny because it's going to be, you know, an equally thick line more or less right across the painting. But because I'm toning this side down, I think we can be forgiven for doing that. And it's only going to look strange because the rest of the water isn't in yet. That is the main reason. Okay, a little darker yet. And a little darker yet. Just adding a little more ultramarine blue and a little more raw umber. I was a little too generous with the white on this far right hand side, I think. It's not a worry, it's just something to be mindful of as we go. Okay, for the moment, we're going to leave it there. I'll bring the camera around so you can get a better angle and you can kind of see how right and left are now joined a little more comfortably. All right. Let's see. Get that whole canvas in there. Now we're looking like we've got a splash of sunlight across the water. Okay, we will talk to you very soon. Thanks for watching.